Hey everybody, my name is Eliam Henderson, and today we're talking about technology in the GPSs and how they evolved, starting with the 430 and going forward in time. So why the 430 is one of my favorites? Well, it's the size and ease of use. It doesn't take up a huge point on the panel. It's easy to use, as in everything's ergonomic. I love the buttons rather than the touchscreen, because when you're in turbulence, it's nice to be able to have a physical knob or button you can press rather than your hand sliding around and touching the touchscreen. Reliability, I've never had one of these shut down on me or freeze. Uh, I have had the 650 freeze and shut down due to heat. Simplicity, it's very simple. I mean, everything's laid out really, really nice for you. And if you don't understand the layout, then you are able to really talk to any other pilot and they're able to explain it. There's also great videos on YouTube. Why not the 430? Well, it's old fashioned. There's newer technology such as the Garmin 650 or G1000 or anything along those lines of the newer touchscreen stuff. Um, it has less functions than the new stuff does. And then the support for Garmin is probably one of the bigger factors. I know they're trying to phase out the support for the 430s and 530s and move strictly to the newer technologies such as the touchscreen displays. Excuse me, let me turn that off. Practicality of the 430 versus newer products. Almost every pilot you talk with is going to have had time in a plane with a 430 or a 530 WAS, and they're familiar with the functions and page layouts. This contributes to the popularity among general aviation. And in addition to that, the 430 is an older product compared to some of these newer G1000s and touchscreen displays. So as people trade in and redo their panels, there's excess 430 sitting on the shelves that are able to be sold for a reduced price. I was able to find one online for $3,000. That did not include installation. I would go ahead and tack on another $1,000 for that. And then the G1000, I found one for $28,000. I was not sure if that was including installation or not. Going forward from that, we have electronic flight bags or ForeFlight. I always bring my iPad with me. ForeFlight's great for various reasons. With a basic subscription, the whole entire year you're getting constant updates on IFR plates, sectionals, IFR and VFR. You're able to access functions such as weather briefs, weather in general, performance calculations if you set up your plane's numbers, a logbook function, which is nice to have a digital version of your logbook, and then airport info such as the chart supplement, which all this really aids to a pilot's ability to fly an aircraft and comply with anything aviation, pattern altitudes, runway layouts, taxi diagrams, et cetera, et cetera. So the ForeFlight levels that they have, there's the Basic Plus, which is $99.99 a year, the Pro Plus, which is $199.99 a year, and then the Performance Plus, which is $299.99 a year. The basic version is a great value and has everything a VFR pilot could dream of. However, if you plan on flying IFR, the Pro Plus version is the best value for your money. Pro Plus allows you to overlay approaches on the sectional, as well as georeference your position on the approach plate. The bottom left picture kind of depicts that. That wasn't the best quality I hoped for, but hopefully you get the gist. I feel like most of you might know what I'm talking about. I remember when I first started my private pilot training, I did not use any electronic flight bag. I used a knee board and a piece of paper and sectional E6B and a plotter. As I finished up my private pilot training, I splurged and got a good iPad and the basic version of ForeFlight, and then started my instrument training, and my CFI basically explained to me how the Pro Plus version is the way to go, and it definitely did make understanding IFR charts and everything a lot easier, especially in the air. This is a video I found from Sporty's talking about ForeFlight and kind of explaining the general functions and how to use it. I won't play the whole thing for you, or I won't play any of it actually. I just figured I would include it if any of y'all wanted to watch that. The link is Flying with ForeFlight training video from Sporty's, and you can go ahead and pull that up. But I'll just kind of play you a brief intro to it.
Hi, I'm Rob Ryder. Welcome to Sporty's training program on the ForeFlight mobile app for iPad. ForeFlight has become one of the leading iPad applications for pilots, with a nice balance of powerful features, an easy-to-use interface, and strong customer support. But like any software, learning some key information early on can help you get a lot more out of ForeFlight.
Kind of skip around here.
Flight data recording. In-flight data link weather, including radar, METARs, and TFRs. Digital logbook with automated currency reports. As you can see, ForeFlight makes a great companion for both pre-flight.
Anyway, that's just kind of a brief showing of that video. It shows some of the functions of ForeFlight. I did forget to comment that I wanted to make. In order to georeference onto the plates, you do need a GPS-able iPad or iPhone because it's able to use that as well. So keep that in mind. You'll need a newer iPad. As far as the learning curve goes, what I've noticed is older pilots, they are slower and struggle a little bit more than the younger generation in the way they learn newer technology, such as the touchscreen devices, such as ForeFlight. That being said, the younger generation, I mean, they're so familiar with these touchscreen displays such as the 650 due to their iPhone or Android product. I mean, they're able to pretty much just go to work and they can figure it out. They just play around with it and they'll figure it out in a matter of a few minutes. Overall, these products require time to master and become proficient. As PICs, we should be able to use our products and have a good understanding of what they are before we fly with them, or before we use them in any sense of reliance. We should be able to know the general functions of them. Learning aids to these products can be found on YouTube and other pilots around the field, and you're able to learn at home. You don't have to necessarily pay for a CFI to teach you. So in conclusion, in my opinion, the most cost-friendly and productive setup for an aircraft would be something with a 430 in it. Glass screen's fine, but you really just need an analog nav with a 430, and then flying with a pro version of ForeFlight that is able to open you up to a wide variety of functions and stuff you'd never know about if you didn't have these products. Another key piece of information that I do like about ForeFlight is if your plane does not have ADS-B in, ForeFlight is able to sync up with a Stratix or something like that to provide traffic. And then also they just released an update for internet traffic. It does eat up the battery pretty quickly and doesn't really work in the air. It switches over when it senses altitude and motion to search for a Bluetooth device to connect to for traffic. But as far as flight planning and kind of seeing what airplanes are doing, it is nice for that reason to just kind of see what your friends are doing. And there are my sources. Thank you.